Let's kick things off. Yeah, a fan friend and just somebody I'm flirting with right now.
Hey, that's
So
badass, bro. Well, welcome to the show, dude. Finally got you on here. Like you said, we were talking about this last year. It's a trip how
yeah,
fast time goes. I mean, for me, I want to know your thoughts too, but for me, time goes by fast and slow at the same time. It's kind of weird. What about you?
I feel that in reality, time's going by pretty fast, and we just don't
Mm-hmm.
realize it. We
Mm-hmm.
get stuck in like these own phases of our lives where it might feel like forever, but in reality, it's actually going by pretty fast.
Yeah,
And
dude.
it just felt like you were a kid yesterday, and look at where you're at now. Like I bet anybody
Mm-hmm.
that's
Mm-hmm.
probably around my age, like I'm 19 right now, they probably miss high school a little bit,
Man,
because
so
it's like,
19, huh?
yeah,
Bro,
I
talk
got my
about that.
first concert in July in Massachusetts too, and I live in Cali, and it's
Woo!
gonna,
Massachusetts.
it's gonna be all of my homies' demise, bro. Like, me and my friend own a collective, and we've been working on it for like longer since I've been talking to you, bro. Like, it's been around. Like, my old rap name used to be Rip Astro, and only OGs know that. That's what I first started off with.
Why the
And
name change?
so basically, when I became like the other friend, my friend Lil Goth that owns the collective, when me and him became friends, like he wasn't the best at making music, but we like bonded hella well. And I taught him some of the stuff that I knew,
Mm-hmm.
and slowly he started rising, like, and it wasn't all like me. Like, he'll give me some of the credit for like teaching him some of the like mixing stuff and all that.
Mm-hmm.
um but I slowly got to watch my friend like have insane progress, and he started getting better and better. Like,
That's
sometimes I
dope.
question if better than me now. But everybody
Dude,
has their own style, bro. So like,
very true.
I never like think anybody's really better than anybody. I just appreciate their style. But as an
Yeah, when
artist, we all do have insecurities. Like,
I was watching your music video with you and Lil Goth, and you guys sound real good together. And to me, you guys both have your own sounds. You guys don't sound
yeah.
like you're in the same lane at all. So Lil Goth,
Well,
you said,
gosh, like my homie, you've never heard anybody like him, and that's the thing that I like about him, bro. Is like he has his own unique voice. Like, I noticed like a lot of these artists, like, I don't know if they're really doing it for the culture, bro. And for me, it's not about like if I make it popular or not. It's
mm-hmm.
more about like I want to create a culture and a fan base around that culture, and I want that culture to like carry on. Like, you know how Lil Peep's a culture right now, right?
Yeah,
Like,
facts.
we have all these goth girls with like
Mm-hmm.
monsters and everything,
Took
all that
over.
shit. Yeah,
Lil Peep, man, if he was still alive right now, bro, the game would be elevated right now, dude.
yeah.
But I can say the same thing about like X6 Tentacion. Like, talk about some of the music inspirations, bro.
So basically, like, I want to go back a little bit because you asked me how I got the name Lil Cross, and I didn't fully explain that yet. Um, so basically, I got the name Lil Cross because cross is not just like when you think of cross, you think of like an actual cross, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the representation is a crosshair of a gun, and
Oh.
so it's basically my way of viewing life. I'm aiming everything through a crosshair, and instead of calling myself Little Crosshair, that just doesn't sound like the best. I just call myself Little Cross for short. And it was Lil Cross and Lil Goff, and I wanted something with Lil in my name, so I changed it to Lil Cross, but I still wanted something that had meaning. So that's how I came up with Lil Cross, and because it was like me and my friend, we wanted like our own Suicide Boys type of thing at first,
Mm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
then we decided to like expand, because like we realized that we had to work with other artists. But in the future, we're probably gonna go back to like that same thing, but still be in our collective. Because when we first started making music together, it was a lot of music, bro. Like, we were working on songs probably almost like every single day. Like we have some stuff that's like old from us that we haven't even like released or like finished. Like huge
A lot of
projects.
involved.
Yeah. So that's how I got the name Lil Cross, is because my homie was like, "Bro, why don't you get something with Phil in it?" And I was like, "All right, bet. Give me some time and I'll figure it out." And
So
then I came up with Lil Cross.
how long have you been Lil Cross?
So I would say Lil Cross has been about for 8 year, maybe longer now. Rip
Dude,
Astro was like a year before that.
the Lil Cross name, the origin, that's badass. I like that, dude. I like how you have a meaning behind it. It's not just a random name.
I always have like meaning behind everything I do. Like it's because like Lil Peep. Now back to Lil Peep and X and all of them, like Juice
Mm,
WRLD, all these rappers that have died, like Sad
for real.
Frosty, Six Dogs.
Hmm.
There's so many that I can't even. It's kind of hard to start keeping track now.
I know.
Like Draco the Ruler just died. I think. Didn't he get stabbed or something like that? And
It's
then
unfortunate, bro. It's unfortunate.
yeah.
Same thing with Lil
Um.
Keed.
A lot of rappers have died, and I don't want to be one of those rappers. Like I
Hmm.
want to be one of the rappers that stays here for a while and dies like in a good way, not like through a drug overdose or murder. And I honestly think Lil Peep was murdered because, like, how do you take an artist that is that good at making music, right, and leave him alone in a bus for that long, knowing he does drugs and everything? And you
Yep.
guys gave him way shit. Like, if I'm a rapper and I'm doing drugs, and like my history with drugs, we've talked about that before, how I stopped, and I
Mm-hmm.
just stick to like weed now and everything.
That's good.
Um, so
That's real good.
basically, if you're giving a rapper like that drugs and it's coming from like management and they're like cooking all that stuff up, it should be with the same plug or a reliable plug. Like that's your like source of income. Because let's be honest, Lil Peep was carrying a lot.
Well,
Like,
dude, Lil Cross, like back in the day, the kings would let their servants eat the food first, make sure it's not poison. That's what Lil Peep should have done.
yeah.
Always have someone
And
do it first.
it's like the thing about the mice and everything is like Goth Boy Click wasn't like they weren't like you could call them family, but we all know there was some toxicity in that like group, right?
Hmm.
And with the mice and everything, like we've built like an actual family. Like people in like the group chat that we have, the members that we have, they all say like we all come from a background of drug abuse and like mental issues and all that.
Hmm.
And this is like our second family, bro. And it's just not like a collective, it's actually a family of people that care about each other.
How long have you
And
had
that's like what
Demise?
separates that. Um about same year as Lil Cross, bro. That started off as soon as that stuff hit off was with Lil Cross and Lil Goth, and then we brought in like our first members, which was Lucifer, a producer. He has some pretty good beats. Lucifer recently left because he wanted to be his own individual producer.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Hmm.
And then we still have our like first OG, which is my homie Logan. He goes like I've always had a hard time pronouncing his rap name, but he goes by like Yum Mago or Mago Lagoon, and he's actually the one setting up the concert in Massachusetts, and we're supposed to be like
Hey.
hopefully performing to 100 or to 200 people.
Ooh. Have you performed before?
I've never performed before because I've always wanted to do it with my homies first, bro. I've had
Bro.
plenty of opportunities, but I've like was like I don't feel comfortable unless I'm like with my homies, bro. You know,
Yeah, I feel that. Like, how do you
I
feel?
have
Like,
social anxiety, and like I know when I'm like with my like second family, that's gonna be a lot easier for me,
hmm.
like because
Hmm.
we're all up there. Have you ever watched the movie Dirt with Motley Crue and everything?
I don't think I have.
Well, in the movie, right, Motley Crue is performing, right, and then the
Uh,
crowd starts attacking Motley Crue. and then Motley Crue starts fighting back with the crowd, and
Oh,
that's how I feel with my family, bro. I feel safe, so I don't have to have that anxiety. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, dude, that comfort. But how do you feel right now, like that you're gonna perform? Like, are you excited? You have those
It's
butterflies?
actually been like each artist that is. It's not just Demise too. It's actually other artists too that my homie Logan has collected, and if all goes to plan, like there should be more than like 10 artists there performing. It's gonna be a
Ooh.
long concert and it's gonna be like worth it for like everybody.
Bro, it's gonna
And
be a good time for you.
yeah, we're going to also make like some music videos, do some shoots while we're all out there, you know.
Good moves right
And
there.
once we get the money from this concert, we're trying to invest for other concerts. And that's what's going to get that concert stage going, you know? Like we're actually going to be able to start like performing more often.
This
So
the
this
year.
first concert is going to be like sentimental for anybody that was there because this is going to be like the start for like
Yeah.
us really showing up, you know, like going out there, slowly getting out there because that's how Peep did it. You know, Peep wasn't a star at first, but
Yup.
he came up with
Yup.
the connections and he got somewhere, bro. It's just about trying.
You're right. It is. It's about getting your foot out there, and it is about connections. If you don't get those connections, they ain't gonna get nowhere, dude.
Yeah.
So, how many
I'm
folks are
clicking on
randomized? Oh, my bad, bro. Go ahead.
so let me look right now because I can't like we've gotten a lot of new members. So we have Anti-Hero, that's one. We have me. We have Godsey. He's working on his craft right now. We have somebody that's in there right now that's just like looking around, seeing if it's right for them. We have Lil Goff. We have Sketch, who's one of our cover artists. He's also working on music right now and everything too. We have Tate, Lil Tate. We have Timing Offline, K Kilius, Young Magoo, Alibi, and we have this new dude that's called Nate, and that's how many members we have in the mines. So
Oh
that's like a
man.
lot.
Yeah, you guys are jam packed. What makes
Yeah,
you guys say yes to an artist to join? Like, what's the criteria?
dude. To be honest, we don't really have anything against any artist because everybody has like a different style of craft. It's just like we want people that are gonna contribute and like gonna be positive and that want to like grind. They actually want to like grow. They want to be a part of that family and like they actually want to start becoming successful. That's what we look for. We don't care like your music doesn't have to be the best because we're there to help you. Like me and Goth have had like about 2 years of mixing experience now. With
Dang, two
that, like that's
years.
enough right there. Like
Yeah.
I can't really show my studio setup right now, but I have free mics in my room. I have the sound blocking panels to, like make it like the audio sound better.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I have my whole PC right here and I have a bunch of XLR cables, a bunch of other equipment just sitting in my box. Like there's so many different ways that I have come up with like making like different types of songs and like projecting my voice. Like I can change the EQ just on my audio adapter and add effects on my audio adapter. Like that shit was expensive, but it was worth it. You know what I'm saying?
And how long did it take for you to like find your sound?
I still haven't found my sound, bro. I just
Mm,
go with whatever I'm feeling in the moment. I don't feel like for me as an artist, I have any sound because I'm an open book and I just do what I do in the moment. Like I can't tell you how many times I've gotten on a track and I freestyled my emotions and then I like turn the freestyle into like lyrics that go in more deeper and then
mm.
actually have new meaning. And then like if I'm not fucking with the freestyle, I might start writing lyrics and then like you go into these songs with like these artists from Demise or just artists out of Demise, right? That we're like associated with. And we'll basically like we'll hop into that song, maybe finish it in the same day or finish it a week later, but somehow like it usually always delivers. And it's not like if everybody else likes it, it's that we're building our own culture and the way that we see the music that we like and like how we like it and how it sounds. Because that at the end of the day, it's supposed to be like about us, not about everybody else. Like I'm still gonna be dedicated to all of my fans, right? And all of that. And like just being there. Like the whole point of all of us doing this is because like we know how it feels to be at a bad point in like your life. Like to feel like you're absolutely like nothing, to be depressed and everything. That's why we make depressing music. That's why we
Mm.
just do whatever we do in the moment because we want to show that we're real, genuine people. We're not just people that are gonna get up there to the top and then stop giving a fuck about anybody. You know,
Yeah, and you could
that's
definitely
the whole point of
tell.
people. Yeah,
You can tell in the music if someone if the artist is being genuine or just doing it for the hell of it.
yeah.
You can really
Like we
sense that.
talk about actual emotions, like Sad Love Tell, the one that like I originally showed you that you liked. That was actually a freestyle about one of my exes that committed suicide, and that's always been like something that's affected me. You know, is like my ex committing suicide.
That's
And I was like, you
that's
know what?
crazy.
Fuck it. I'm gonna freestyle something just for like remembrance of her.
Hmm.
And it came out pretty good. And the one thing I've always had issues with freestyling is that I like to layer my vocals a lot. So when you're freestyling, it's a lot like more voice than like that chorus type of effect. And that bothers me sometimes, but I can't tell
Oh.
you how many tracks I have with like me just straight up freestyling and it's like my own like things getting in the way and like I have other homies that listen to it, but it's like, you know what, release that shit when I die, you know? Because the fans will still have something to hear, you know? And it'll be
Mm.
something new for them.
That's a smart move, bro. That's a smart move. And when you said that, I
Yeah.
kind of felt that because when you freestyle, a lot of times the energy in your voice is different,
Yeah.
right? Is that what you're trying to say? Like compared to like having to say the same verse over and over again.
Exactly. When you're saying the same verse over and over again, you're practicing it. And you may not realize it, but subconsciously you're practicing it and you're finding that flow within the same verse. Because for me, I don't just like record like 6 layers of tracks, right? All in one take. Like I do that over and over and over and over until I feel like it sounds perfect, you know, in my own way, you know. And then I go in each one of those tracks and I edit them individually and I make it like because the way I pair my vocals is like I will have it to where it fully surrounds you and like there will be
Mm.
different things going on sometimes and it's like if you actually get into like my music and everything like you'll hear the tiniest shit if you pay attention and that's the shit that's gonna stick out like the real ones bro they be noticing that shit and I have them like hitting me up about that sometimes like not saying that you're not
Yeah.
real like you fuck with my music and that you're really busy with the podcast and everything. And I know you noticed Sad Love Tell was like an actually
Mm.
meaningful song, but um my energy when I'm freestyling is completely different to when I'm making layers of music.
So would you say like the best way to listen to your music is like with headphones or in a car with the music loud to catch all these different sounds?
Can you say that again if you don't mind?
Would you say like the best way to listen to your music is with the headphones or perhaps like in the car with the music blasting?
Um so basically I think either headphones because let's be honest, phone speakers suck. Like
Yeah.
headphones and basically car speaker, best way to go. Or any type of speaker that like you have that isn't like a phone speaker. But recently I've started noticing like how to make the audio like better and like if any artists are actually like watching this when like you post this and everything,
Hmm.
they need to know that like when you're in the DAW, right, turn your volume all the way up, right? Like go fully to like 100, like in like your computer volume, right? And then in the DAW itself, right, bring the audio down until it feels like it's at a right thing, and like at like a right audio percentage to where it's not gonna hurt somebody's ears when they're listening to it, like where they're actually gonna be able to hear like
Mm.
what you're saying. You know what I'm like trying to say? Because like your perception of audio to somebody else's perception of audio is gonna be like way different. So I lower down I go all the way to 100 on my computer, and then in the DAW itself, I lower it down until I feel like it's at a right decibel to where it's perfect. You know what I'm saying? Like,
This game that you're telling the folks, is this you experimenting, finding it out yourself, or are you doing research?
um, everything I've done is either been I have this other dude that might be joining the Mize, and he's a professional mixer. He has a whole
Mm.
studio set up at home, right? And he's been doing it for like 5 years now, right? And
Phew.
I started learning a whole bunch of stuff from him. And oh, when I was first starting, it was a lot of experimental stuff. Like we had no clue what we were doing, but we did what sounded right, and we started slowly learning what every single little thing did, you know? And it's not just about like how good our songs are, it's like showing where like we came from, you know?
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Demise. Is it because you brought up the mixer? Is he part of that crew too?
So with I have a hard time saying his name, but his real name's Wilder, right?
Okay.
Interesting name. You spell his name Wibxy, like Bixie or something like that. And you know, he's not really an artist that like has been like heard well, but like if he were like if people actually started listening to him, I'm promising you he would be doing pretty good right now. It's just he's all the way from Canada, and that's also interesting in itself is that he's in Canada making music. And me and Wilder like we're like good friends and everything. I consider us good friends, and like we always get along and everything. And every time I'm like on the phone with him or we're doing something, he always teaches me something like new. You know, like
Yeah.
he's his information with music is to a point to where it's so insane that like he could literally talk to you about it for hours and you would learn so much.
The
Like,
passion.
and I learned a lot of stuff from him. Like recently, I learned how to pan my vocals in like a way to where like at first I would pan my vocals where I would have like one in the middle, right? And then one
Mm.
to the left, and one all the way to like the right. So it would be all the way to the left and one to the right. Wilder taught me that when you do that, it's basically you're just directing the sound all the way to the back. And that you won't
Oh.
have it to where like you pan your vocals in a way like if you're gonna be doing layers and everything, you
Mm.
have one in the middle, right? You make that one your loudest one, and then you have two slightly off to the side, and then you have your next ones where you feel like they fit best, like all the way past. So like if I were doing this as a representation, we would have our middle one, right? And
Hmm.
then we would have two slightly to the left and one slightly to the right, like barely, right? And then the next two, right? You pan them wherever you feel like is right on the left and right side. And and I started noticing that when I was like started doing what he told me to do, um my vocals came out like in so much of a better way. Like on Alone and Alone, this was like my first song where it was like one of my homies like was like he was always like really critique with my music, right? Very
Hmm.
straight up. And he was like, dude, you sound like amazing on that track. Like I don't know what you did, but like it worked. But that felt good to hear, bro, because it was
Yeah,
like
dude.
I have other music that I enjoy that still came out in like a good way, even with like audio on top of audio. But what Wilder basically taught me is that when you're putting on audio on top of audio, like it's taken away from some of that audio. So the way you pan it is to where it doesn't take away from that audio, but it's still layered and it still adds in, but it comes in so much of a better way. And
Wow.
that helped me out a
Whew.
lot, bro.
Yeah, dude. Not only you be out here telling the whole community now. You gonna be helping out a lot of folks. That's game
Yeah,
right
that's what
there.
I'm trying to do, bro. I I want to help people out. You know, I have people hitting me up for edits right now. This one dude that hit me up last night asking me if I could edit 4 videos for $40.
Oh, nice.
I usually have presets. And I drop them in presets, or sometimes I'll go in there and like individually like edit everything. But I do all of my editing from my phone, believe it or not, using
Whew.
CapCut.
Tap
CapCut
cut.
is such a good program. Like I've never had an issue with it. I even have it installed on my PC, even though it's like a mobile thing. And for anybody that's interested in like downloading apps onto like let's say your computer, there's this thing called BlueStacks App Player, and it's basically this browser that puts phone apps into that browser, and then you can use it.
Dude, blue stacks, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you be putting out a lot of game already on this podcast. This is gold.
What? What did you say?
I said you're putting out a
I
lot of
heard.
gems.
Yeah, and that's what like I'm trying to do, bro. Is like because once other artists know who I am as like a person, this is my way of getting myself out there. You know, I'm gonna be expecting other artists to hit me up, and I'm gonna be giving them my advice, working with them. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
expanding just with them, bro. Because you know, all these artists, these mainstream artists, they don't really give a fuck anymore, bro. They're
That's true,
not
dog.
really for shit. Like, and I noticed that a lot of these younger artists, not like really out there artists that haven't really gained that attention yet or just
Mm,
started, you talk to them individually and you find out their reasoning, the shit that's going on in their life, and you
yeah.
notice they're going through like hell, bro, and they're actually trying to do it for some meaning.
Hmm.
Like, yeah, maybe some of those mainstream artists started off with some meaning, but I don't really see any of them like pulling through like for their fans, you know? Like you know how Lil Peep, even in the documentary itself, it was like he had this huge thing where like it was all of his anxiety was building up because he was always there for everybody else. And it's like the reason why Demise also exists is because like we want to be like ourselves and also a little bit of Lil Peep and still help everybody out, you know? And that's why like our group gets bigger and bigger is because we all have that same goal to help people.
Did Lil Peep inspire you, or were you always this way?
Yes, definitely, definitely. I like I don't want to be Lil Peep, but I would definitely want to carry on some of his stuff. You know,
Hmm. Hmm.
like I'm working on a. You know how like they're releasing a Phil's music video for like Lil
Yeah.
Peep.
Yeah.
I find that really disrespectful
Hmm.
because my way of viewing Gothway Click is they're just posting these videos, basically make money off of Peep. All
Milking
that
it.
money should be going to his family and like actual people that matter, like um Emma. Like even though I'm pretty sure she wouldn't want any of that money, um like people that I can think most closely of to like Peep was Tracy, even though they had their downfalls like in the end. But you see this video of Tracy crying like at a concert when Peep died, and it's really sad because you can tell he was like genuinely like a friend.
100%.
Like, yeah. Um, And it was like actually Peep's fault, like about the whole friendship thing, like because Peep uploaded like a music video that Tracy was in the song, right?
Yeah,
But Tracy wasn't in the music video. That's kind of hella disrespectful. Like I love Lil Peep, but like I have to admit that that was a little bit of fault, and that's what I know from the information I've heard. I'm not gonna go fully on that and say that's fully true, but if that is true, I like felt like Peep could have done a little bit better. But at the same time, you have to also look at it from Peep's point of view. Peep's going through a lot. Like he's blowing up in this time. You know, he's just a kid still. Your brain doesn't fully develop like until like you're like probably 25. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that
And
ass.
like you have to also keep in mind he's intoxicated because that's how they're controlling him. Is with drugs. You know, it's how
Yeah,
you like people. That's how people control people. You know, and that's like why we want our own collective demise is because we don't want that. We don't want to control anybody. We just want to be us. And like I'm making a Phil's music video because it's like I'm not gonna gain any money from that. The only thing I'm gonna gain is just showing my respect for like Lil Peep and putting something out there to like show that like I care about him because like
hmm,
when I was like in high school and everything, I was making Lil Peep edits all the time because Lil Peep to me started feeling like a brother and like a
hmm,
homie, like somebody that I could actually relate to.
yeah.
And it was like really nice because like I was going through like a lot of depressing shit. And it was like the reason why I'm making like a Phil's music video is like just it's more sentimental if I feel like it's coming from a fan than like the people are just gaining money off of him, you know, like because people are supposed to switch over to another like record for $1 million, right? And it's just kind of sus how he dies when he's about to do that, and he was doing his last performances for like Gothboy Click and everything and getting out of that, you know? So, and they're
Ha-
still like making money off of him, so it's kind of fucked up.
have you ever joined any like Reddit posts regarding Lil Peep?
No, I haven't. To be honest, I've never really been into Reddit. I've wanted to get into it, but I'd never really known how to like use it. It's always been one of those like Twitter too.
Hmm.
Like I don't really see much of like the social interaction that I do like on Instagram or like other apps. Like most of the apps I usually use is for better social interaction. On Twitter, you're just posting stuff about like how you feel. And it's
True.
basically a bunch of whole people doing that, and it's like, how is anybody ever supposed to see that unless you're like actually there, you know? So like when I feel like I'm more at like a reasonable like artist point with like more fans and everything, that's like when I feel like I need to start doing that.
Whoa. Well, the reason why I brought up the whole Reddit thing is because you're where you're coming from with the whole Little Peep thing. I know that the fan base on Reddit would really appreciate that.
Yeah. Um I also another thing in demise me and Goth like have agreed to is I don't like Kill Station.
Okay.
I don't like Topar. I don't like a lot of the people in Gothboy Click. I like their music, but I don't like them as people. And I'm making that clear like right now. And for future references, because I know this is gonna be looked back upon, like this goes to Kill Station right now. Dude, like how could you go and date homie's ex Topor? Like
Oh shit,
that's
for real.
just that's fucked up in so many ways, and it's like I've listened to Kill Station's music before, and like I felt like some of the songs were like kind of directed towards Old Peep. I'm not gonna go like fully on that, but like I can't like I would have to listen to his music again. But like I remember like certain shit just like about seeing you with him or something like that. And you know all of these
Mm,
like artists were around each other at that time, and like
yeah.
everybody was homie with like Peep. Like dude. if my homie died like goth or something and he had a girl, like I'm not going to his girl. Like we're gonna be friends and everything, and I'm
Um, yo, I didn't
I
know that.
that's disrespectful. Like kill stations with like toe porn and everything. That's just like, yeah, you all might love each other, but like I just I don't find that right. You know,
Dude, that's like Pearl Harbor. Have you seen that movie?
I have not.
Dude died in the army and his best friend took his girl. Crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Or that
crazy,
one
bro.
movie with Toby Maguire, right? And he had a brother, and like Toby was in like the military or whatever, and like he got caught out there, and he had to kill like another Marine, and when he came back, he had severe PTSD, and his wife got with his own brother, bro.
Oh, dog
Hold
dirty,
on.
bro.
What did my PC just do? My PC just turned off, like the monitor turned off for a second. So my bad.
Oh, we good, we good. Yeah,
Yeah,
bro, it'd be
we're
cold
good.
hearted out there. It'd be cold hearted, bro. Demise. Why that name?
Demise, because you think about it, every single day we're all going for our own demise. You know, like life
Damn.
itself is demise. You know, like
Oh, that's deep.
everybody goes through something in life, and that's what demise stands for. Is it's like it's a family. You know, like we're all in it together. You guys can relate to us. That's what we're about.
Is Demise just exclusive for like artists, or can I get like a video editor or video producer?
Dude, we actually have a lot of that in demise, but we separate that because
Mm,
I do a lot of like I can do most of that stuff like on my own. Like I've actually been in like editing for like a long time in my life. That's always been like one of my things is like editing, photography, like that type of stuff. Like my mom, she has like a bunch of cameras and like it's just always been like a big thing for me.
hella
So
artsy.
we have a photographer named Adam Sissel that is like in demise, and he's a really good photographer, and he's done some of the covers for like some of our songs, and like his photography is like so insane. I'm gonna send you something on Instagram right now of some of his photography once I found my phone because I
Okay,
just put it somewhere.
sweet, dude.
And like this is just some of like how insane some people are with their photography and everything.
Yeah,
Like this
dude.
is gonna be one of the covers that I'm gonna use for one of my songs that I just sent to you right now.
Dude, I like that. That's hard, bro.
He
The
did that
detail.
himself, and the amount of detail in his photography, I've never been able to
Whoa,
like do photography like that. Like
that is
when I say like
clean.
homies are underrated, like once you start to get to know them and
Mm-hmm.
like know their professions and everything,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's kind of insane. It's just more of the fact of we're trying to learn right now how to get ourselves out there because that's the hard thing. We don't know. We don't know how to do that. Like we're trying our best to figure that out like ourselves right now in the moment. Like TikTok is hard because it's like you have to be consistent with it. Tate's
Facts.
been like he's been on that TikTok grind like for a while now. He got me on that TikTok grind again too because I used to post like little peep stuff all the time.
Uh-huh.
Now it's like we're figuring out how do we promote ourselves on TikTok to where it looks good in the right way and reaches an audience.
Yeah,
Because you
that's
still
true.
have that little peep audience, you still have that sad audience there. That's the audience that we're trying to reach out to. And if I make a hype song, it's going to the hype audience. Like, not all of my music's just gonna be like about sad stuff. Like, um, I know you didn't really like Lame Boy that much, but like a lot of people like around that time did, and it was like my first type of like Suicide Boys like style of like a type of song, and the whole song's like slow, but like the story and like the meaning behind Lame Boy is basically like a representation of like what it what it's like to be like a crime boss and like
Uh,
everything like that, like the back of the mind of like a crime boss's head. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'm reading the
And
description
just
right
like
now.
the emotions and everything.
The perspective of a crime lord.
Um, because like I used to be heavily into drugs, and I would be like, I used to like sell for a bit,
Hmm.
and coming from out of that, like I feel like people need to know like the perspective of like what goes on in somebody's mind like that. Like they're not mentally stable, like
That's hard that you did that, bro.
yeah.
What about Pressure? I really enjoyed that track.
Give me 1 second. I'm talking to my mom right now.
No worries, man. Shout out to Adam, man. That art
Yeah,
piece is crazy. Looks like it
yeah.
belongs in
All
a
right.
museum.
So pressure. Like, give me 1 second because it's been a while since I've made that song. Um, so pressure was actually when I made Rip was from Rip Astro, right? And the songs never really like stood out to anybody. I'm glad it stood out to you though. Um,
Most that.
that was one of my first songs, and I did that actually in rehab.
Oh wow.
I went to this rehab in California called Serenity Lodge up in Lake Arrowhead, and I don't know if they still have a studio up there, but one of the nicest rehabs ever. Like, felt like a vacation at that rehab, and it felt like escape from society, and like I could actually be focused for once. Like you
Hmm.
didn't have the pressure of work, you didn't have the pressure of like life, everything. You were just there with a bunch of men and counselors, and
Hmm.
when I had my free time, I would go up to the studio, and during my classes, I would be writing lyrics. And pressure was just like kind of a little bit of like my life and just shit that was going on in that time. Like, I've been through like a lot of shit, like a lot of traumatic shit. Like, recently, I got into a car accident with my friend. And like, just to explain how bad my anxiety is to like future fans and people out there. I was at work one day and then I saw something that triggered me. And then all in one night, I decided to get a car, right? And I decided that I was gonna move out with $6,000 and go to like Maryland and then start something out there because that's where my homie lives, Lil Goth,
Hmm.
is in Maryland. And like we've actually been planning to like move like with each other pretty soon. Like he's still in high school, but he's graduating. He's 18 right now, and he's been saving up. And like I lost the car and everything, all in one day because like I
Damn.
had huge anxiety going on, and I was just so focused on getting out of there and everything, and like all of this, and like being like feeling that pride of being alone, I guess, because I felt like I was doing good at first. And me and my homie are on the freeway. I missed one of the exits, but we're on the toll road, right? My dumbass at night decides to go in reverse in a BMW 1998 528i 6-cylinder engine.
Oh shit.
Go in reverse at 60 miles per hour, and I wasn't in the right mindset at that time, and I have Xanax prescribed to me, and like um I got Xanax from a friend that day, and I took it like earlier on in the day, and like my homie was like, dude, you need to take something to calm down your anxiety because you've been weird all day. Like, I can't really remember any of that day, and I think what I got was like pressed with something, which wasn't like really good. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I
Yeah.
feel like that's what also went to play with the car accident too, is because like since I didn't have my medication of Xanax and like everything, like I knew I was gonna need something for like my anxiety, and I felt like it was pressed with something else because like made me have more anxiety, and it just My normal self wouldn't went 60 down like a road in reverse at the middle of the night, you know? Like
Bro,
nobody in the done that. And so
dude.
we went off, split 5 times. Um, I was unconscious. My homie was breaking the glass, and we were getting out of the car. Me still unconscious. And the worst part is I can barely remember anything. And one thing that the things that I do remember are very blank, but like they stick out and they hurt in my head so much. And I feel like the worst part is not being able to like remember everything, you know? Like I remember screaming because before that, like I went to AutoZone and I got like $700 like worth of stuff for like my car that I was gonna like mod my car with, you know?
Yeah,
Like do myself because like that's always been like one of my interests, and I have homies that like do that type of stuff, and like like homies just want to chill and like work
yeah,
on that stuff sometimes, you know. And we were
yeah.
like on our way back to like where we live and everything, and I was like on the way back to drop him off, and that just happened so quick, and it was hard for me to process that I just literally lost everything just in the span of that amount of short time. And it's been hard recently, but I'm getting through it because it's not just staying strong for myself, it's staying strong for the future, and for the
Yo,
present and the people around me.
Lil Cross, that is an insane story, bro. I can't believe that happened to you. But dude, I'm grateful you guys are still here, dude.
Yeah.
You
Me and
know,
my
like,
homie have actually been in two car accidents together, so it's kind of
oh,
insane that it was the same homie for another accident, but that definitely creates some
Survivor
type of bond
Brothers.
around you guys.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you guys are the Survivor Brothers right there.
Yeah.
Got to cue in the Mario
He's
music.
he's not really like into like making music and all that type of stuff, but just like when I do get him involved in like certain things, like for Alone and Alone, like we took like that's my homie in the cover of that, and like we took like a little video, and like when I die, like I want that video to be out just to show like just like a
Mm,
like how like Will Peep has like one of those
mm,
like those type of videos.
bro.
um but we were like creating a cover, and I actually got like poison oak or poison ivy. I don't know. I know one of them doesn't grow in California, and I got it all over my legs, bro. And it's been like affecting me for like these last days. I did go to the hospital, getting it taken
Yo,
care of, but we were taking that cover picture, and I got poison ivy on my legs for the cover picture. That's some dedication
dog.
right there.
That is hella dedication, man. Hey, you're gonna have to put. I heard putting urine on it helps.
Hell no, bro. That would probably make it worse.
Well, if you have a bad diet, yeah, I probably would. You would need like a good, healthy diet.
Um,
That urine will help. No cap.
yeah.
My gosh, you guys, dude, your life's gonna turn into a series, not a movie.
Yeah, there might be like if like I do blow up. I'm not doubting that I will blow up because I hear it a lot from like new people that I meet and everything.
Mm,
They're always like, dude, like I see you going somewhere, and that's a lot to hear. That's
yeah,
kind of
man.
some of my day is because
Surviving
like
for a
let's be
reason.
honest, started like we kind of forget what we're doing sometimes, and like we start getting hopeless because we do want that fan base. We do want to actually be somewhere with our music and just be focused on our music, but like when all the artists that are at the stage I'm at right now, we don't have that luxury. And it gets kind of depressing because it's like we want to be out there doing music videos. We want to be out there like doing those concerts, those huge concerts, and making it like our
Festivals.
own. Yeah.
I know you guys
Like
got a
when we do,
message.
yeah, when demise gets further on, we're not gonna be like at Rolling Loud or any of those type of things. We're gonna be making our own Rolling Louds. You know what I'm saying? Like we
Um,
don't care in the middle of the desert, right? Like once we have that social, like in that following of people, we're
yeah.
just doing our own culture of music and how it should be, and like a whole like performance of everything, like out in the desert, hiring like, or just like out in anywhere, bro. Like we're
Yup.
not like concerts and everything. Like they've all been basic. They've all been like the same for like so long. Like let's be honest. Like you go to the concert, it's always the same. You don't hear about people doing like, unless it's like Coachella or something, like doing just like a random ass concert like in like the desert or like out in the woods or some shit like that. Like we want to make it actually like a memory for like some people, you know? Like we're still going to be doing like concerts at normal places, but we want to like just have a new type of culture, you know what I'm saying?
Have
Because
you go ahead.
new culture, you know, like we need something new in the music industry.
This is the time too, because everything's changing right now. But I was gonna ask you, have you heard of Slap City?
No, I have not.
Yeah, man, it's down south of California, like right before the border, and it's a anything goes type of deal. And I could see you guys doing your own thing with your clique, and maybe even connecting with other cool collectives that have the same kind of similar message with you. I like that you don't want to go the regular route. It's kind of like washed out already. We need new.
Yeah. Because it's like you don't really hear about concerts in like the desert or anything. And it's like we kind of want to be separated from everybody else because we want to like really stick it out there that we're our own thing, and like if like it's meaningful to us, we're going to work with you, right? But I've just felt like mainstream has been, and when we do get to mainstream, we're going to have our own different type of mainstream, you know?
Oh, you trying to
Like,
get mainstream?
well, that's gonna be a while, you know what I'm saying? But we still want to represent the same thing that we came from. You know what I'm saying? Like when we're mainstream, we're not just gonna like, dude, I'm gonna be messaging like at least like 100 people a day. That, oh my gosh, there my PC went again. Give me 1 second. I can't hear you because I'm listening to you from my monitor. I'm waiting for it to turn back on.
Okay, okay,
Okay, so anyways, I can hear you now.
right on.
Um, I'm gonna be messaging like as like when I have some of my free time throughout the day when I'm like mainstream or whatever. I'm gonna be messaging like the requests. I'm not gonna have no damn manager working for me, you know? Like unless like I feel like I need a manager in like a specific like location of like my music type of work. I'm gonna be like, you know how like these records own like literally everybody's accounts, right?
Hmm.
I'm gonna actually interact with like my fans, and I'm gonna let them know that I'm there and I'm trying my best to like be there for everyone at the same time while I'm doing everything else. And
Bro.
that's how I feel like the interaction should be. Because how would you feel if, let's say, if Juice World was still alive, right?
Hmm.
And I know I'm not Juice World, but like if I was, and he was responding to fans in his DMs, like how would you feel like if like you're a big fan of Juice World and you got a response from him? That
Bro, I'll be
would
ecstatic,
probably
dude.
make your year. That would probably, it
Yo,
would mean a lot to you. And that's the type of connection that we want to have like with like our people, you know what I'm saying? Like our
facts,
fans and
bro.
everything. We want them, and that's why we want to make Demise pretty huge. And it's going to be, it's like if the plan goes right, we're going to do it in the right way, and we're going to create our own culture. And when we're mainstream, everything's still going to work out how it is working out like right now, but we're going to have like slightly improvements and everything. We're gonna like still be connected with everybody, and like you know how people's alone trying to satisfy all those people. We're not alone. We got family, and we're all gonna be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Not alone. We got the family. Damn, that's on point, bro. You're right. It does make a difference, bro. Do you know who Princess Chelsea is? Oh, hold up. I gotta.
No, I do not.
Yeah, bro. She's one of my favorite singers, and she responded to my message. She even listened to my EP at the moment. Dude, that made my like you said, it made my whole year, dude. So your approach is beautiful, bro.
Mm.
That's a big deal.
I I gotta get going soon, but
My dude, it's
like
already been
about
almost an
5 to 10
hour,
more
dude.
minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is 5 to 10 more minutes cool with you?
Oh yeah, beautiful, bro.
All right, bet. So now, like, I'm gonna throw some of like just the stuff that I want to say out there. Anybody that's watching this, please don't give up. Like, I don't know how many people are gonna watch this or like in the future watching this, but please don't give up because you mean a lot, and you may not see it because everybody shit on you and like your life, but you're your own person. You have your own ideas. Nobody's gonna think like you, and you can't tell yourself no, because when you tell yourself yes, you're gonna start believing it more and more. When you start telling yourself no, you're not gonna believe in yourself, and everybody's gonna have an impact in your life, either be good or bad, and don't let the bad affect you. Turn it around into something good, because when you think about it in a bad way, it's gonna just haunt you. And I've done that so much in my life, and it's ruined me. And now, like, I used to have anger issues and everything. Like, I used to like react in the worst type of ways, like cutting myself, all that type of shit. Like drugs, wherever I would go to, and getting in fights or shit like that. Like, it's not worth it. You yourself as a person, treat yourself good, because you're worth it. At the end of the day, at the end of the year, I can take a $20 bill, crush it up, throw it on the ground, all that shit, throw dirt on it, besides tearing it, right? Like, or like ruining like the actual money itself, but like, could literally trash on it. That $20 bill still has its value. Same thing goes with people.
Mm,
People may like trash and walk all over you and all that type of shit, but you still have that value from the day you were born to the day that you die. And only you can increase that value. And you shouldn't be doing that value for anybody else but yourself. And that's one thing I gotta say for like right now, is because I feel like that's something people need to hear, you know?
they do need to hear that. That's beautiful. What are some
Yeah.
steps you think they can take?
Some steps that like, so for drug addicts, because I'm gonna speak on that right now, because I've noticed that starting to become more of a big thing. It's starting to become more normalized in our generation. I'll go on TikTok sometimes and I'll see like 5 to 10 TikToks about drugs like a day. And I don't know if that's just how my feed works or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But drugs are definitely like becoming more of an influence like on like the younger generation.
Mm.
Fentanyl overdoses have killed more people than COVID has. Like, it's
Damn.
insane. You hear like about fentanyl overdoses all the time, and like I used to do fentanyl heavily. I would be doing 20 to 30 perks a day with like a gram of fentanyl, and then I'd be using meth to like keep myself like awake and not overdose, because you know how like serious that shit is. Like, that shit actually like wakes you up. It's like fucking Narcan in itself. um when you're in that stage of an addiction, and like in the back of your head, once you finally realize that you want to stop and that it's wrong, that's when you're gonna stop. I went to the hospital and I got something like Suboxone. It was called Benorphine, and I tapered off of like my withdrawals using Benorphine, right? And what Benorphine does is it blocks off like your opiate receptors. And everybody has a different way of working their program. But when I first started like getting sober and everything, I was going to outpatient rehab. I was talking to a therapist, a psychiatrist. I was actually taking it serious, because it's not you that it's more of a problem. Like, everything in moderation. Like, it's an addiction. That's a disease, whether you realize it or not. But there's people that have handled this professionally, or like have been through that themselves. And going to an NA meeting and hearing like another addict's like point of view and the hope of like in their life, yeah, like they may be completely sober, you may be young, and you may think that's stupid and everything, but it's a lot better than you being dead. You being overdosed, you
Ooh.
being in a jail, you being out on the street, you being out homeless. Like, I'm giving you all some real shit right here. Like, this is how it was for me. Like, um all of those things will eventually happen if you keep on going down that road. Just stick to weed or psychedelics or some shit, you know? Like, don't over abuse the psychedelics because that's not good. But like, if you just want to trip and have like a little bit of fun every now and then, or drink a beer or everything, like that's what I'm saying. Like, everything in moderation. Go to that. It's a lot better than being sick every single day, having to go down the street, panhandle for some money, and then go to the plug for like whatever sack of dope you got like your money for. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
that's how down
Mm-hmm.
bad it was for me at one point in my life. Like, I'd be walking around the street asking people for money, and that's not how I wanted to live my life. And when I quit, I did it like in the way I felt was right. You know what you need to do to quit, and you know nobody else is going to be able to control that. But if you're trying to get past that like sickness stage, take Benorphine, taper off of the Benorphine because that still will give you withdrawals, and but it won't be as bad as like your fentanyl like withdrawals or like any of that shit or whatever withdrawals you're going through, because these are like the medications that you get from the hospital to actually stop. And if you're homeless or something, you can get Medi-Cal or whatever type of thing that your state offers, and you can get insurance and all that type of stuff, and it will help you, and you'll be able to go to the hospital and get treated in the right way. And if your withdrawals are bad enough, like they could have some hospitals offer like treatment programs. I know most hospitals do because addiction is a big thing now. Um, and they'll get you off of that stuff. And it's just after that point, it's you have to draw people, places, and things. I don't really say like places because you can't really ever control that. You can't really ever control like where you are. But don't be going back to like the same places that you would be like getting high at. You know what I'm saying? Or like where you're gonna see the
Mm-hmm.
old people at. Those people that like were using like with you, they weren't your friends. Like, I mean, maybe one or two out of like the few 60 or however many people, but they see you as an asset to keep on getting high. And they're in an addiction too, and they're probably not doing it on purpose, but subconsciously that they're doing that, or they're purposely doing that. And it's not out of ill intent. I mean, sometimes it can be out of ill intent, but they're going through that sickness too, and those aren't your real friends. And I wouldn't suggest being with them until they get sober, like,
Mm-hmm.
because that will take you down a wrong path. Because people tend to like stick to people, right? And they tend to bandwagon
Mm-hmm.
like slowly or subconsciously, and like you have to become your own person. You have to be willing to give it up. It's hard, but if I could do it, I promise you, like, other people have done it too, and like you guys can too. Now back to like just getting to where you need to be at in life, some advice and everything. you know Reach out because you're not alone. You don't be embarrassed. Your feelings and emotions matter, and take it to the people that you actually know are going to be there for you and actually work with you and have the time to like invest into you, because you're not alone, and you'll learn something from everybody, and you'll take it in your own way. And whether it be like you're a kid in school or a teenager or an adult, nobody's ever like really alone unless you're locked up in a basement, like, I don't know, in like those one movies. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
I'm greatly sorry for anybody that's like in like that bad type of like a situation. But for the population that I'm speaking to right now, um you guys aren't alone, and there's resources out there for you. And I know like some places it's really bad to get those resources and get that help, but reach out to the right people. Online connections, even though they're not there in real life, they're going to be more genuine with you than they are going to be with you in real life, because people have a lot of more issues of being like genuine in real life than they do online. Like online, it's different. You feel like you can be more free. You feel like you can talk about more
Mm-hmm.
things. Like, and if you're hitting up like, let's say, people in the same like area of you of like whatever like clique you're in, hit the same people up, and like they might be going for the same shit as you, and they might be able to like relate to you or give you some advice. And like therapy, like even though like it sounds like it's a bad thing, like it can be helpful sometimes because you may not realize it, but you have a lot of stuff building up on you subconsciously.
Mm-hmm.
And like when a therapist is asking you questions, like yeah, they're getting paid to like talk to you and everything, but that's their job and everything, and they're also doing it to help you. Don't get a shitty therapist. You'll know when you get the right therapist. It may be
Mm-hmm.
discouraging. I promise you there's a therapist out there for anybody, and your therapist can be one of your best friends too, bro. Like literally.
Mm-hmm.
um but sometimes you need another point of view, and
Mm-hmm.
that's usually what you get from therapy. They ask you questions and they open up things that sometimes you don't even think about, that's actually bothering you, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a whole process, and it's like nothing happens in one day, and you're gonna have to realize that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that, but it it will happen, and there is hope. Nothing is impossible unless you say it's impossible and you make it impossible for yourself. But
Mm-hmm.
you'll never find out until you've tried, and you keep on trying, and you keep on trying and trying and trying and trying until the day you die.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find out how far you got. And if it really means that much to you, it shouldn't be about how far you got or whatever, but it should be about the experience that you took through that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Lil
But
Cross. My goodness, bro. Thank you for telling some of your story, bro, and giving out your love.
you're welcome, bro.
You're helping folks out here, dude. Listening.
Anytime, bro.
Lil Cross, man. Thank you for your time. We gotta do this again. I know you got much to tell. Great messages.
For sure, bro. I'll hit you up. Like, I know it might be short. Like, I didn't mean to hit you up in just like a 1 day span, but like, I was like, I saw the opportunity and I took it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, man. I'm glad you
I'll
did,
hit
bro.
you up and we'll figure out like a next podcast type of thing, and like we'll keep this going or something. And I might bring some of my homies from Demise or something, and like
Dude, I would
just
love
maybe
that.
some friends, and then we'll all have like a little chat.
Yeah, most definitely, Lil Cross. I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
For sure.
You wanna
Um, I,
plug in your music?
just okay, dude. Oh my gosh, yeah. So how would I plug in my music? How does that work?
SoundCloud, where they can reach you.
So basically, my Instagram handle, easiest way out there, because I have this thing which is a Drumeo link, right? My Instagram is basically just Lil Cross, and like I notice it pops up really easily on like Instagram out of like everything else. So it's like underscore Lil dot cross underscore, and then I'll show up with my page, right? I have this like little anime girl as my profile pic. It's probably gonna stay there for a long time because that's really like sentimental for me. Um, and I have a link, Drumeo link, that'll take you to like all of my music related stuff. And also on my Instagram, there's just all the edits that I've been making since I've been doing music, and like all that type of stuff, like since I've started. Like it starts off with My World. That was like one of my first songs that I did with Lil Goff, and oh my gosh, it's still one of my favorite songs, even though a lot of other people don't like it. It's still one of my favorite songs because I promise you that song's gonna be big one day. Like, but anyways, that's how you guys find my stuff if you guys are curious.
Boom, baby. Thank you, Lil Cross. You have yourself a good one.
For
Thank you for joining
sure.
Up for Radio.
And yeah, I was about to say something about my mom. That's Mama Cross over there. She likes to be a little bit embarrassing sometimes, so y'all don't mind her.